Cincinnati is so big, what the heck? Let's do it twice. The Findlay Market opening day parade earlier today in Cincinnati. A couple of Reds players and grand marshals, our old friends Sam LeCure and Danny Graves. No one does opening day like Cincinnati. Part 2 coming up on the home of the Reds. Fox Sports Ohio as the Reds welcome in the Chicago Cubs. And hi again, everyone. Alongside Chris Wells, Jim Day. The Reds will try to put that National Series behind them. They welcome in their division rivals for a quick 2-game set. And if you like a guy that is a control pitcher that paints both sides of the plate, you're going to like Tyler Mahle.
Well, no doubt about it. Jim, great to have you up here, by the way. This is a great thing to have you up here doing play-by-play. And Tyler Mahle, you know, you look at his numbers and you think, wow, this guy is really something. I'm always a little reluctant to start reciting the numbers of a young player when he doesn't have that much of a sample size in the major leagues, but this guy really has an idea of what he's doing on the mound. He knows what he wants to do, and that's four-seam fastballs, overhand breaking ball, occasional changeup. He can throw it by you right across the letters, and that's where he's going to live a lot. But of course, it all comes down to fastball command.
On the offensive side, the Reds will be without Scott Schebler, who's been a hot-hitting Scott Schebler. Hit by a pitch on his elbow yesterday. He was originally in the starting lineup for Brian Price, but didn't react to treatment like they wanted, so he was scratched from the lineup. Brian Price does say it's not serious. He is available off the bench. Adam Duvall will make the start in the outfield today. As far as the Chicago Cubs, 3 straight trips to the NLCS, a World Series title mixed in there, and it's the same cast of characters.
Well, how do you get better if you're the Cubs? Well, you go out and you try to improve the bottom part of your rotation, and that's what they were able to do with Tyler Chatwood. But you see what they did last year? They still won 92 games. They just didn't get to the World Series, so I'm sure that they let down a lot of Cubs fans out there. They did lose guys like Arrieta, Wade Davis, John Jay, and John Lackey, but they added the pitcher tonight. They've added Yu Darvish. Brandon Morrow is their closer. Steve Cishek is that sidearm right-hander that gives those right-handers fits out of the bullpen. So I think they've gotten stronger, but, you know, this is a solid ball club. They're going to play pretty good defense. Chatwood is naturally going to be better than he has been because he finally gets out of Denver, where, you know, a pitcher hates to pitch there. So we'll see what he's got tonight. The one thing about Chatwood, you've got to make him throw strikes, because if you give him a chance, he can get wild.
A lot of expectations as he makes his Cubs debut. It's the Reds and Cubbies coming up on Fox Sports Ohio, and on the other side, a reversal of fortunes. Jeff Picoro has that story.
Chevy dealers. And by Skyline Chili. Feeling good? It's Skyline time.
Well, it's going to be a chilly game, but at least we're dry. Plenty of clouds around. You may see a few peaks of sunshine during game time, but temperatures start off in the lower 40s. By the 7th inning, we should be topping out somewhere around 43, 44 degrees, and then slowly falling through the 40s by the end of the game. Mostly cloudy skies, but again, no rain, no snow for game time. Let's go Reds.
Well, let's go Reds. You know, in the offseason, the Reds wanted to get a veteran presence for their bench, and they got a couple of them. Goslin and this guy, Cliff Pennington. He's making his first start of the season, and he's hitting second in the order. He's had one at bat this year. It was a pinch hit single versus Washington, so he gets the start for Jose Peraza, who gets the day off after starting the season 0-12. Well, as you heard Jim Day say a little earlier, it has been a reversal of fortunes for the Reds and the Cubs. What do we mean by that? Well, let's start back in 2010. From 10 to 14, the Reds absolutely own this head-to-head matchup. They won 60 of 88 games. That's a 68% clip. But since 2015, it's flipped the switch, if you will. Chicago winners of 40 of 58 games. That's a 69% win percentage. So the tables have turned as the Cubs have won 2 straight division titles. The Reds hope to follow in that. So coming up, it's the start of division play. The Reds and the Cubs. Jim Day and Chris Welch coming up next.
League Central last year, another trip to the NLCS, and Joe Madden has another stacked lineup that he'll run out there in 2018, and here's how he'll line them up. Brought to you by Nissan. Former UC Bearcat Ian Happ will lead it off. Chris Bryant in the 2 spot. Anthony Rizzo, Wilson Contreras, Kyle Schwarber 3, 4, and 5. Addison Russell will play shortstop. Jason Hayward in right. Javier Baez is the second baseman. Tyler Chatwood will be doing the pitching, and he will hit 9th. On the mound for the Reds, making his first appearance of 2018, and a lot to like about Tyler Mahle.
Well, for the second day in a row, the Reds are going to run out a very young pitcher. Just 23 years old is Tyler Mahle. The Reds have had him since they signed him out of high school in Westminster High School. That's near Huntington Beach, California. And he's a guy that really is much more mature than his age would let you think. He had a nice run of it last year, but he has a pretty good idea what he wants to do. He's got good control, a nice repeatable delivery, curveball that goes over the top. That's a good one, and a changeup as well. But I think for the most part, he just has a lot of confidence in himself and his stuff. And he's the kind of pitcher I don't think he's trying to do too much, and that should really help him against a power pack lineup like the Chicago Cubs.
He raced through the system last year. IGS bringing the energy at AA Pensacola, 7-3, 1.59 ERA. Went up to AAA Louisville, impressed enough to get a call to the big club. And look at that ERA in 4 starts, 2.70. And he had a perfect game in the minor leagues to boot along the way. So the righty will go to work against Ian Happ. And all Ian Happ did was start the Major League Baseball season 1 pitch home run. First pitch in all of baseball. Here comes the first pitch from Mahle. It misses up and away, and we are underway. Kerwin Danley calling balls and strikes behind the plate. Game time temperature 44 degrees, just how we like it. Swing and a miss by Happ. And here's that aforementioned Ian Happ home run. First pitch in the entire Major League season. Against the Marlins, and out of here. 2017 was the year of the home run, and the commissioner's office was probably watching that pitch thinking, here we go again.
Well, that's not here we go again for Ian Happ. Ever since that home run, he has really struggled. That batting average now down 0.77.
Yeah, he's 1 for 13, and that one hit, that home run you just saw. Counts 2 balls and 2 strikes to Happ, former UC Bearcat. Count's gone full. Happ coming off of a season 253, 24 home runs, 68 RBIs in 115 games. And this Cubs team, after losing Dexter Fowler after their World Series team of 2016, searching for a leadoff man. And so far it's been a mixture of Happ, who draws a walk, Almora Jr. is the other guy that is led off.
Well, if you look at the very bottom of this chart right here, we're looking at the number of strikeouts and the number of walks. So he made 3 levels last year, AA, AAA, and then the major leagues. And as is normally what happens, strike zones are smaller up here. He struggled a little bit with his bases on balls. But, you know, for a guy that aims at the top part of the strike zone, you know, you still have to get it down low enough to be a strike, but high enough to keep it out of their wheelhouse.
Reds have struggled out of the gate in each of their 3 games here in 2018. They gave up 2 runs to the Nationals on opening day, a run to the Nationals on opening day, 3 runs in game 2, and 2 runs yesterday. And the first batter has reached in 14 of 28 innings against Reds pitchers. That is most in the National League early on here in 2018. Chris Bryant off to a hot start. In 4 games, 389 batting average, a home run, 4 RBIs. Bryant coming off of a season which you looked at his numbers and surprising. He hit almost 300 at 295, but 29 home runs, 73 RBIs, 151 games. That World Series season of 2016, though, incredible season. Here's a drive into right center field, and Hamilton over, calls off Winker, out number 1. Here's your Reds defensively, brought to you by Ford. In the outfield, We mentioned Schebler was scratched from the original starting lineup, so Duvall's in left, Hamilton in center, Jesse Winker in right field. On the infield, Suarez. Cliff Pennington making his first start in a Reds uniform. Scooter Gennett off to a hot start at the plate. Votto, and hanging the signs for Tyler Mahle is Tucker Barnhart. And here's Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo off to a slow start. 3 for 20 in the 4 games in South Florida. But don't expect that to last.
Well, you hope it lasts at least for the next couple of games until he gets out of town. He's always been a very tough guy for the Reds to face. And you can see what the strategy here is of the Reds of trying to pitch him inside, take a little bit of that power away from him. Mahle is one of those pitchers that is comfortable pitching to that first base side of home plate. That's a tough spot for a lot of right-handers to get the ball.
And the Reds will shift around to his pull side. The count's 1-1. Cubs first baseman.
That's the typical shift. You're going to see that on a lot of left-handers, you know, and Rizzo's not the kind of guy, at least not at this point in the season, where he's going to just kind of dribble the ball down here and take a base hit. You know, against a young right-hander that throws primarily fastballs, he wants to take his chances and let it rip.
109 RBIs a year ago, Anthony Rizzo. 32 bombs and a .392 on base percentage. Here comes the 1-2 from Mahle, and it's way inside and it hits him.
Well, you hate to see it happen, especially on a breaking ball right there. The idea of a breaking ball a lot of times with a righty pitcher and a lefty hitter is to drop that ball figuratively on the back foot of the hitter. Mahle may have taken that slightly too literally at that point and got himself in a little bit of a jam right here.
Well, we talk about Mahle's control, but so far here in the first, struggling. A walk and a hit batsman. And Anthony Rizzo is used to getting hit by a pitch. He led all the National League being hit 2017 24 times. Was hit 30 times back in 2015. So again, going along with your philosophy of how teams attack him, trying to bust him inside. Wilson Contreras, cleanup hitter for the Cubs. And you don't see many catchers in the cleanup spot. But he hit cleanup most of spring training and will hit mostly there this season, according to Joe Madden. 1-1 pitch. Check swing, and it catches the outside corner. Or am I not allowed to say check swing?
Well, that's really what he did. I mean, we're not going to be too technical up here. We'll let the umpire sort that part out.
All
Strike
right.
or ball.
I got you. Two and two the count. Mahle last year in those 4 starts walked 11 batters in 20 innings. That is uncharacteristic of Mahle if you look at his numbers in the minor leagues. I'm trying to get out of a jam here early. Swing and a miss. Down goes Contreras. A big out for Mahle.
He's going to get a lot of swings and misses upstairs in the strike zone. This is the one thing that really jumps out at you when you watch him even warm up in the bullpen. That ball has a little extra life when it gets halfway to home plate, just kind of takes off on you a little bit. Some pitchers are better off down in the zone because their spin rate is less. The ball sinks for them. Mahle, on the other hand, has a lot of backspin on the ball, and that makes his ball straight. It doesn't sink very much, and he's more effective up in the zone.
Now the pride of Middletown, Kyle Schwarber, with 2 outs and 2 aboard. Schwarber off to a 5 for 15 start to the season. Already has 2 home runs, including a towering one into the upper deck, Marlins Park. Oh, 1 pitch. Schwarber had an interesting season last year. Hit just .211. He did have 30 home runs, 59 RBIs, but it got so bad at one point they sent him to AAA to get it sorted out.
Well, of course, he missed the entire previous season, except for the postseason where he was a hero due to a horrific knee injury.
Lays off one outside. He's trying to creep his way into the Reds killer category. Schwarber in 24 career games versus the Reds. .337 hitter. Slash line of .337, .433, .596. 7 home runs, 20 RBIs. 1-2 pitch. Blocked by Barnhart.
And if you're seeing Schwarber for the first time this year, you're thinking, well, is this the same guy? I mean, after all, wasn't he a little stockier last year and the year before that? And the answer to that is yes. He made a big effort over the winter to slim down a little bit, become more athletic in the defensively when he's playing left field. But the power is still there. There's no doubt about that.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 aboard. The count holds at 2-2. 24 games career versus the Reds, .337, but here GABP numbers a little less, .283 in 13 games, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs. Mahle trying to keep the Cubs off the board. Here in the first, swing and a miss. Back-to-back punch-outs by Tyler Mahle, and he leaves 2 stranded. Scoreless at Great American. Reds coming up. First time in 2018. And here's how Brian Price will line them up today, brought to you by Nissan. Jesse Winker back in the leadoff spot today. Cliff Pennington making his first start in a Reds uniform. 3, 4, and 5, Votto, Jeanette, and Suarez. Adam Duvall in left. Tucker Barnhart hanging the signs. Billy Hamilton will bat 8th today, ahead of pitcher Tyler Mahle. Tyler Chatwood signed a 3-year contract in the offseason with the Cubs, making his Cubs debut.
Well, the Cubs feel like they may have bought on the low side with Tyler Chatwood. And they figure that just by getting him out of Denver and that thin air out there in Colorado, he'll automatically get better. He lost 15 games last year, but if you examine the numbers really carefully, he was much better on the road. And that's where the Cubs are banking that he's going to see some improvement.
A little tough on a pitcher to pitch in a home park called Coors Field. Although Wrigley in the summer is no walk in the park when that wind is blowing out. Speaking of that road ERA.
Yeah, the earned run average is on the road, and this is where he kind of stood out, and it was somewhat of a no-brainer for somebody to try to grab him and get him out of Coors Field. But the one thing that continues to plague him is his control. I mean, for a guy with a good arm, and he's got a very good arm, and he's now, what, 28 years old. He still has a problem getting the ball in the part of the strike zone where he wants to.
He's run the count to 3-1 to Winker. And he walked him. It's one thing you're going to see out of Jesse Winker. He'll work the count. He'll give you a professional at bat and draws a leadoff walk. And here's Cliff Pennington. 1 plate appearance so far this year for Pennington. It was a hit.
You know, this is where Pennington can afford to be aggressive. He's got to figure, and Chatwood doesn't want to get behind him, not with Votto in the on-deck circle. Go ahead and let her rip at that first pitch if you get a fastball.
Switch hitter looks at one inside.
Not even close.
Pennington in 87 games last year with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. A .253 hitter, 3 home runs, 21 RBIs. He's faced Chatwood twice in his career, 0 for 2. And Chatwood has fallen behind 2-0 to Pennington. Tyler Chatwood, 28 years of age. Born in California, resides in Scottsdale. 40-46 career record and 130 major league appearances. Counts 2-1. Pennington, a non-roster invitee to big league camp for the Reds, made the club out of spring. And he's the only true shortstop as a backup to Jose Peraza. And Peraza off to a slow start. But Brian Price likes to give his bench, like most managers,
well, I think
bench guys a chance to play.
As what he gives you in the field, he's a veteran, he's a veteran presence, and sometimes you need that. Well, when your team's going through a tough spot, you got to have some guys who've been around a little bit, or else everybody will start to doubt themselves.
Pennington questioning that call by Kerwin Danley. It looked downstairs. You be the judge.
Pitch number 5 on your screen.
So the count's gone full. Winker taking his lead from first, and here comes the payoff pitch. There goes the runner from first, and ball 4. Back-to-back walks. And here comes Votto.
Well, the Cubs, when they looked at the rotation, they figure, you know, if you're at the back end of the rotation, it's sometimes going to be 7 to 10 days from the time that you last pitched in spring training to the time you finally get on the mound during the regular season. With Chatwood, they had him stay around and pitch a game in the minor league complex just about 5 days ago. So he's pretty close to being on regular rest. So if he's got control problems, you can't blame it on lack of use.
Votto hit in all 3 games to start the season. And he's been first pitch swinging a lot early on. And he did right there.
I'm wondering if some of that has to do with the caliber of the pitching that the Reds have faced so far.
Guys that like to get ahead, throw those first pitch strikes.
Plus, also, when you're talking about guys like Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg and Gio Gonzalez, the tough left-hander, those are pitchers that you don't want to get behind in the count to. And, you know, Scherzer can put you away with any number of pitches. The same for Strasburg. And I think that's one reason probably why Votto was more aggressive than normal.
Reds have swung at the first pitch 42% of the time this season. 3 games in. It's the highest rate in the National League. The National League average so far 29%. Check swing, and down goes Votto. 3 pitches to Votto, and good night.
Boy, pretty amazing, really. All of a sudden, Tyler Chatwood was able to turn it on. And through 3 quality pitches, good little comeback action on a 2-seamer right there, and he freezes Votto. Really nothing to do with it.
So 1 out, and here's Scooter Gennett. Off to a blistering start in 3 games, 7 for 13, 538 clip. There's a grounder right side. It gets through. They're going to hold Winker at third base as Hayward has a gun. And a good thing, because Hayward not only gets to the ball quickly, he's got a cannon. The bases are loaded for Eugenio Suarez.
Well, he was playing fairly shallow. He got a good jump on this ball, did Hayward out there. And the other thing is, the Reds aren't exactly lightning on the bases, except for Billy Hamilton in this lineup. There aren't a lot of guys that can, you know, maybe Duvall is a little bit above average, but the guys on the bases right now, you got to be very careful and conservative sending them to home.
Scooter Gennett now has a hit in all 4 games this season. It's a situation to get Suarez going, off to a slow start. 2 for 11 so far. Does have a home run and 2 RBIs. fresh off of that 7-year contract extension for the Reds' third baseman. Bases loaded, 1 out. Back to the backstop. Winker will hold up, though, as Contreras. That ball bounced right back to Contreras and heads up by Winker by putting the brakes on.
Well, you talk about getting a big break right here. The Cubs just got one handed right to them. That whole area behind home plate is almost all pad. But they hit the one spot where it's going to be able to ricochet straight and right back to the catcher. He's got a horseshoe in his pocket.
Got something. Two and 0. Winker at third, Pennington at second, Jeanette at first. Just looking for a big inning. 2-0 pitch fouled back.
Well, you see the percentage of ground balls, 58%. That's a lot. That is one of the more prolific ground ball pitchers in the league. 23 ground ball double plays. You're always looking for that when you have a sinker ball pitcher out there, a guy that could roll up and get 2.
Here comes the 2-1 swing up the middle. 1 and 2, and that is a huge double play. Bases loaded, 1 out. Reds get nothing. Off to the second inning we go. Family Cure, your grand marshals in 2018, braving the cold, and now Mr. Sam LeCure braving Chris Welsh and myself in the booth. How was it today?
Oh, it was good, man. It was really cool. You know, you just don't get the idea when you're down here on the field going through the festivities that are going on here. You don't understand that that's what's going on out there, and to see all the people lining the streets and, you know, all the effort that goes into that stuff. There's a strike from Mahle. How's that?
Very nice.
I'm practicing.
Hey, there's some passion out here for Reds baseball, isn't there? I mean, you really get that when you're going down, you know, Vine Street, and it's just incredible. The throngs of people that come out, they're all wearing red gear. It's really some kind of day.
Yeah, it's neat. Like I said, I had no idea. You know, I'd heard that it was a pretty historic deal, and, you know, had been around for quite some time. Check swing by Russell. Strike 2.
Nice job. He's getting it. For those that don't know, that may not know, Sam LeCure is going to be joining us on Reds Live pregame and postgame. Also going to be calling some games on the radio with Marty and some
yours
other dude.
and twos truly. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that. There's, you know, it's a lot of exciting stuff. I'm not going to lie to you. It's been different going down in the clubhouse and not putting on the white pants and all that. But to think that I might have to ask a question of a guy about a performance that wasn't so great or whatever.
Yeah, you remember those days when I used to stick a mic in front
Jim,
of your face.
You had that microphone right front and center, and I knew that day that I had not done my job. So, no, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to being around the game. You know, I mean, it's when I walked through the doors and saw the stands and everything going on, it was, you know, just a rush of memories coming back through. So it was really neat. I'm excited to be a part of it. I think that, you know, this team's got some excitement around it. I think the offense is really good. I won't go, you know, too far into that just yet. Don't want to ruin all my material, but, you know, well,
you don't want to give the material to Chris Welsh either.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I know a good line when I steal one, Sam. Don't worry.
That's right.
Hey, Tyler Mahle's got it working right now. 3 straight strikeouts.
Yeah, I liked him, and you know, I did my homework in spring training. I was paying attention. I like that he's here. You know, it seemed like a little bit last year that there were guys that weren't competing within the strike zone, and it seemed like this guy's a strike thrower. I think Sal Romano is one of those guys. You know, you're really not giving yourself much of a chance if you're not competing in the strike zone, and especially in this ballpark where, you know, 1 walk and 2 walks turns into a 3-run homer very quickly. So I think he's going to be good. We'll see. You know, it's early. You guys both know it's a long season, but you know, if he's competing within the strike zone, he's confident in his abilities, and I think he's ahead of the game as far as that goes.
You've also got to like his pace. I mean, he gets the ball and he's ready to go. He's not one of these guys that's kind of fiddling around with every pitch, taking a lap around the rubber, you know, to try to get himself ready. He's rocking and firing.
Yeah, I wonder if that's not just some of the, you know, things they're implementing in the minor leagues where, you know, that pitch clock is, you know, 20 seconds. I think I saw this year it was 15 seconds or something like that. Maybe they're, you know, maybe they're learning it, and maybe, you know, those pace of game changes are on the horizon, you know, maybe sooner than you think.
You know, that stuff is easy to do when you're going well. When you're going bad, you want to slow it down.
Yeah, you want to take the time. That's no doubt. But no, it'll be exciting. Yeah, he's good. I think, you know, I wish there was more people in the ballpark. You know, I understand that, but, you know, being my first time back in a big league ballpark in a long time, it just, you know, you want to see it full. You want to feel the energy. But, you know, you got to earn it.
There's no question about that. You got to earn everything in life nowadays. 2-2 pitch to Hayward. Misses downstairs, and we've gone full. A lot of Cubs fans in the crowd. We've grown used to that, but you know what? They may wear blue, but their money is green. Come on in and support the payroll. Payoff pitch. Strike 3 called. That is 4 in a row now by Mahle. Back-to-back strikeouts looking.
I guess you'd call this easy gas because he doesn't really look like he puts a lot into it. Mahle does. He's got a little move in his delivery, Sam, we got to talk about a little bit, where he kind of straightens his left leg out, keeps himself back over the rubber, and boy, that fastball really explodes on the hitter.
Yeah, it looks like that kind of Clayton Kershaw where well, not exactly like him, but he gets it up, he gets it down and straightens it out as kind of a, you know, a balancing mechanism, and then starts to accelerate down the mound. This is the first time I've seen him throw live, that's for sure. And
everybody has to have something to kind of a key him to get that delivery, you know, solid for you.
Yep. Everybody's got their little ticks. You had one. Mine was similar to that.
Winker can't get the ball in right field. On his way to third base is Baez, and he'll be in there standing. Winker dove after it, came up empty.
Well, you got to figure that Javier Baez is going to be swinging coming out of the on-deck circle. This guy has never seen a fastball he doesn't like, and he just kind of slices this ball when it gets down the line. It looks like one of Jim Day's drives. It just keeps cutting and cutting and cutting.
Keeps slicing away from him.
No, one of my drives would have ended up in the Handlebar restaurant up here.
Well, that's a tough play. I mean, if he's a right-handed right fielder, that ball's a little bit easier for him to play off of his left side, but slicing away from him, having to reach across his body, that's tough.
The good news is you're in the National League. You have the pitcher coming up next.
That's true. Always nice to start the inning with the pitcher, Chris. You know, I mean, you want to get that 8th guy out, or so you can lead off with the pitcher the next inning, so you feel like you've got that first out coming right away. Because isn't it crazy how much harder it is to score when you got nobody on base and 1 out?
Spoken like a true reliever.
You're right.
I remember Jim Shaw said that, and Tyler Mahle takes care of business with a runner at third base.
Can you stick around?
I can.
All right, we're hanging out with Sam LeCure, our colleague, Sam LeCure.
Oh,
boy. Gio Gonzalez, and now Chatwood and Lester for the Cubs. Reds have been running out Bailey, Castillo, Romano, Mahle, and then Bailey again. Mostly young pitchers in there. It's kind of Homer and the kids, and you look at the difference between starts and the record and the win percentage. Advantage the other side, but getting these Reds pitchers' feet wet in the major leagues, that's the way that you build guys like this.
That's right. I mean, I think so. Those guys were a young player in this league before. I mean, I think it's been pretty well chronicled. Max Scherzer, I had a chance to play with Max in high school. We grew up in similar areas. I mean, he wasn't the Cy Young award-winning ace that he is now. You can only learn that stuff through experience, and that's going to be key for this young pitching staff here for the Reds to learn from their mistakes, learn from their experiences, and you know, the more success they have, the more they're going to believe in their stuff, and I think the better off it's obviously the better off it's going to be for the team.
We're visiting with Sam LeCure, the former Reds pitcher, who's going to be joining us here on Fox Sports Ohio this season. Some pre and post game work. You'll also hear him on the Reds radio network later this season.
Scary.
You're going to be alongside Martin Brennahan.
Who's that? No, that'll be fun. Sure, there's a lot to learn there. 40-some years worth.
Well, you just got to, the biggest thing I learned is just let it bounce right off of you. There's going to be verbal abuse coming your way. And you just kind of let it, got to have Teflon on, man.
That just seems to be part of baseball, the old,
yeah.
the old tough love.
Counts 1-1 to Adam Duvall. It's Duvall, Barnhart, and Hamilton here in the home half of the second. Scoreless game, Reds and Cubs. So 44-degree game time temperature. How are you pitching in the cold? Here is a fly ball left field.
Oh man, that is.
It's a little different judging it up here, isn't it?
I had a pretty good idea when it left my hand and they hit it that it was gone. It's a little bit different from up here. How was I pitching in the cold? I always felt that was a pitcher's advantage. You know, you hear hitters talking about, oh, when it warms up, you know, they protect their hands a little bit. I thought it was advantage. You know, it may have been a little bit tougher to get loose, but also once you're loose, you're the only guy that's moving around in the field like that every time out. So you got a chance to stay a little bit warmer.
Here's Tucker Barnhart. Looks at a first pitch strike. Tucker had a really hot spring, but off to a slow start here in the regular season, just 1 for 7. Shoots it the other way, and that's a base hit. Make that 2 for 8. Tucker Barnhart, 1-out single.
It just seems that when Tucker Barnhart started to do that move, hit that ball like that to left field, not try to overpower the baseball, all of a sudden he became a much better offensive player.
Yeah, he man, I know he works hard at it, and you know, learning it from both sides of the plate, that's got to be tough. Handling a pitching staff, handling the scouting report. I mean, those guys are so underappreciated. It's amazing, and Tucker really does a great job there. He's worked really hard and has turned himself into, you know, obviously a Gold Glover. We all know that and see that, but you know, you get around a guy like that move right there looks an awful lot like a Joey Votto move. You know, just sucking your hands inside that ball, and he's making players around him better. That's awesome.
2-0 to Billy Hamilton. Hamilton batting 8th today. He was in the 9th spot on opening day, which raised a lot of eyebrows, and hit leadoff yesterday. Delivered an RBI double yesterday in the 8th for his lone hit of the season. He's faced Chatwood in his career 6 times. Billy 3 for 6. One pitch, way inside. Chatwood has been all over the map here. Walked the first 2 batters of the game. A huge double play to end the first. The Reds had a chance to bust the game open. Bases loaded, 1 out, and failed to score. Bryant playing on the edge of the grass at third per usual when Billy Hamilton's at the plate. 3-1 pitch, and he walked him. Third walk in an inning and a third. Tyler Chatwood.
Get a bunt down, man.
Well, the one thing he's doing is getting up in the front of the batter's box, which is the first thing you're told to do when you're up there to sacrifice. Gives you a little more fair territory to use.
Gets it down. Charging is Rizzo. His play will be to first base. Nicely done.
Very nice, man. That's tough. You know, I was talking to somebody a little bit earlier. It's not easy to bunt, period, when you know, when a guy's throwing a 92-mile-an-hour sinker at you, but when you got Anthony Rizzo barreling down on you and that's the direction you maybe are trying to bunt the ball, it'll get you a little nervous. That was a nice job.
That's about as good a form as you can get. You notice that the bat head was higher than his hands. He kept it on a good angle the whole time. He didn't, you know, square completely around, and he kind of kept the strike zone under control there.
Well, yeah, it's like you said, Chris, getting up in the front of the box, putting your bat head at the top of the strike zone so you know where the top of that is, and anything below that you can go down on and get the top part of the ball and get that thing on the ground right away, because that's what the runners are looking for. They're looking for that ball to go down so they can get their jump. You know, ball's up, popped up in the air, they got to pause and see if somebody catches it or not, and then the infielders can play tricks on you, act like they're going to catch it, and they end up with a double play. But that was a nice job.
Guys looking for a 2-out knock from Jesse Winker. First pitch strike. Barnhart at third, Hamilton at second. Swing and a miss, swung right over it. Pretty good guy under fire last year. 151 opponent batting average with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Third lowest in the National League. And he's ahead on Winker. 0-2, swing and a miss, and again Chatwood for the second straight inning strands 2. Sam, we're looking forward to working with you, my friend.
I appreciate it, man. It was nice getting up here to catch up with you guys. I'm sure I can learn a lot from you. I appreciate it. It's going to be fun this year. Let's win some games.
Absolutely. We're all for that.
Yeah.
Sam LeCure, we look forward to him in 2018. Off to the third we go.
Anthony Rizzo is up this inning. And you know, we all remember the horrible tragedy at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida on February 14th. It was a huge weekend as the Cubs played there. That was Anthony Rizzo's high school. Second inning, he hit that big home run for the Cubs, but it really touched it. It was his high school. His football coach still there, athletic director. A lot of the teachers that he had were there at the school. The Cubs and the Marlins wore that patch, the MSD patch that had 17 stars on it for the 17 people who lost their life there. And then they also, on the Friday, 4 of the people that were affected throughout the opening pitch. Rizzo, one of the 4 players, along with 3 Marlins, that caught that opening pitch. I talked to him today about it. He said it was so emotional, Jim and Chris. He said it was, you know, all I could do to get back. He left spring training to go back, and just a tough weekend for him. But you know, he's done so much for that high school in Parkland, Florida, and we all remember that tragedy. And it was really, he said, an emotional roller coaster for him.
No doubt, an emotional roller coaster all across the country. 2007 graduate of Stoneman Douglas High School, Anthony Rizzo. And as you said, he left spring training after that mass shooting tragedy and gave a very impassioned and emotional speech. And that tragedy still making news. Those youngsters in that high school speaking out. Strike 3 call, and I tell you what, Mahle's got it going on.
Well, he's got it going on, and he's making it look nice and easy out there. He's keeping his body under control. He's just kind of staying within himself. And this is the one thing you really like about Mahle, is that he pitches like he's been around for 10 years in the major leagues. You'd never know he's only 23 years old.
Sam LeCure, we should have had him stick around. That was a little front door fastball action.
That was one of Sam's special pitches there.
You know it. Here's Bryant. Flied out to right his first time up. So Mahle's got 6 punch outs here through 2 1/3 innings. Chris Bryant, now 26 years of age. Product of Las Vegas. 2015 National League Rookie of the Year. 2016 National League MVP. In the air, right field. Winker goes back. Now comes in and makes the catch. Misjudged the ball initially, went back on it, recovered, and went to the turf to make the catch.
One of these line drives that is almost right at him, and outfielders will tell you that those are the most difficult of all to figure out how hard they're actually hit. First thing you do when Chris Bryant swings the bat is you normally would take a step back. Because of his prodigious power, he was able to recover.
And now Rizzo standing in the way of a 1-2-3 inning, and here's a drive to right. Winker got it. So the first 3 up, 3 down inning for Tyler Mahle, scoreless at GABP. We've got Bryant, Russell, Baez, and Rizzo. A battery of Wilson Contreras, Tyler Chatwood. Nice lid. It's a blanket kind of day and a hat kind of day at Great American Ballpark. And a late afternoon start. Opening day part 2, if you will. First of 2 with the Cubs. And Tyler Chatwood will get Pennington, Votto, and Jeanette here in the bottom of the 3rd. Cliff Pennington walked his first time up and was stranded. Joe Luckup tells me we've got a first in Major League history here today, where both pitchers, Chris Welsh, are named Tyler. The first time it's ever happened.
I thought we were going to do a StatCast on that. And now you break it out here early in the ball game. Disappoint Josh Hall tremendously with that.
You're going to have to blame Joel Luckup because I only read the cards he hands me.
I did pose that question earlier, and he was able to come up with that answer. I'm impressed. Joel, I am more impressed than ever before, maybe, with that one.
Now, no fighting up here. I'm sitting between these two gentlemen. No fighting up here. Don't hand it to me, and if you don't want it on the air. Someone found that out the hard way. Read things I probably shouldn't read on the air. We won't go back in time for those specifics. 1-2 pitch to Pennington. And the count holds at 1-2. Tyler Chatwood making his Cubs debut. And he has worked out of a couple of jams. He stranded 2 in the first, got out of it with a big double play ground ball. Suarez. And struck out Jesse Winker with runners on 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs last inning. Two and 2. And we've gone full. Chatwood 25 starts, 8 relief outings last year for the Rockies. Ground ball right at Baez. 1 out. And now Votto, who saw all 3 pitches his first time up, as he was a strikeout victim.
Well, the Cubs, of course, had their advanced scout in town over the weekend when the Reds hosted the Nationals, and there's no question that he advised the Cubs, like everybody else in this division has been doing for years, to try to get that ball in on Votto. Now, getting it in there is one thing, but I mean, trying to get it in there is one thing, but actually getting that job done is a very difficult thing to do. He was able to do that, however, Chatwood, really well the first time up.
Well, at some point, if you're a scout, particularly for the Cubs, when you look at Joey Votto's numbers in 56 games against Cubs pitching. 356. This is over the last 3 seasons. 356 average, 12 home runs. So the scout's saying, I don't know how you get him out.
You know, and Votto knows that. Over the years, you know, you take a look at Joey Votto, and he's so good at hitting the ball the other way. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark to center field. So you try to take his power away, and you continue to kind of pound him inside. And what he's been able to do in, you know, in preparation is put that batting tee on a tee just about 4 inches off his chest, and he practices hitting that over and over again.
Ground ball in short right field. It's Baez. Back-to-back grounders. And back-to-back outs. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At-Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Scooter Gennett extended his hitting streak to 4 games. In the first, tapper foul. He's now faced Tyler Chatwood twice, 2 for 2 in his career, and 2 walks. Chatwood bidding for his first clean inning.
You know, you watch Tyler Chatwood pitch, and it's no wonder for me why he has a hard time commanding the fastball. He's got a lot of herky-jerky motion in his delivery. Now, a lot of that may be effective in throwing the hitter off a little bit, but you've got to find that good kind of combination of what works for you to deceive the hitter, but also what works for you as far as being able to throw the ball where you want to. Here's the delivery. It kind of is herky-jerky right from the very beginning, but especially when he gets the ball out of his glove.
Takes it out early.
Seems like he takes it out early, and he's going in a couple of different directions.
Two-one pitch. Another grounder to second. Underhand flip. A 1-2-3 third for Tyler Chatwood. We're scoreless, Reds and Cubs.
And he has been all over the corners all afternoon long. A lot of caught lookings.
Painting it, if you will. Like a young Picasso. Top of the 4th, he will get Contreras, Schwarber, and Russell here in a scoreless game. Ground ball. Suarez sets. 1 out. Take that. 1 pitch, 1 out. And now Kyle Schwarber, he was a strikeout victim to end the first. And the Reds will shift to his pull side once again.
Well, they'll shift the 3 of them to the right side, but they'll keep the third baseman right here. You see where Suarez is going to stay right in the same spot, just to make sure that you don't give an easy at-bat away or an easy base runner away by him laying a bunt down.
And Suarez playing at the edge of the grass. Now he'll back up. The count 1-1. Swing and a miss. Took some off at 82. One-two pitch.
Well, one of the things that Joe Madden has already made an observation about his team is that, we like to make more contact, is what he says. They by far lead the league in the number of times they have struck out so far in the 2018 season. Came into this ball game having struck out 47 times. The closest number 2 is the Cardinals with 35 team strikeouts. And they're on their way to padding that lead here with Mahle on the mound.
Mahle walks Schwarber. Second walk of the afternoon. Saturday, April 14th. Be one of the first 20,000 fans through the gates and get a Tucker Barnhart Gold Glove bobblehead. Thanks to Coca-Cola. See your Reds and Cardinals April 12th through the 15th for as low as $12. Tickets, visit Reds.com. Addison Russell, 1 out, 1 aboard. Hard hit ball. Backhander Pennington on to second base. On to first. A beautiful double play. Big league stuff. Cliff Pennington. Pretty.
HIO continues, and the Reds wrap up this 2-game series against the Cubs. Reds Live starts at 6 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Ohio, or you can catch it streaming on Fox Sports Go. April in the OHIO is presented by Menards. And of course, guys, today the Findlay Market Parade, and Sal Romano and Cody Reed got to be in the parade. And I was talking to both of those guys. They really enjoyed it. Sal Romano said, "I could not believe how many fans showed up in this weather to enjoy it."
Drive center field off the bat of Eugenio Suarez over the head of Happ. Suarez on his way to second base. He's got eyes on third. Here he comes. Leadoff triple.
Sounded so good coming off his bat. I mean, he got a breaking ball that was hanging right there. Sweet part of the bat. And only the cold weather is what kept that ball from leaving this ballpark.
Happ had trouble coming up with the baseball, and Suarez recognized it and went on to third base. So one sitting 90 feet away for Adam Duvall. Ground ball. This will get the runner in from third base, and the Reds have the 1-0 lead. It's RBI number 5 of the season for Adam Duvall.
You got to get him in. You get a situation like that, and you want to be the first man in line with a runner at third and nobody out, because if you don't do that, then there's a guy coming up with 1 out. And next thing you know, you're down at the bottom of the order and you don't get that run across. The way the Mahle's throwing the baseball, very important to get that run in.
The Reds finally with a lead here in 2018. Let's hope they don't look back here. Tucker Barnhart with 1 out. Singled back in the second. Oh, 2 pitch. Strike 3 call.
He's got a nice action on that fastball. Tyler Chatwood does. He throws a lot of 2-seamers, and the way you tell that, of course, we showed you the number of ground balls that he gets. 58% ground balls last year. A lot of ground ball double plays.
Hamilton lays down the bunt. Chatwood fields it. Got him. But the Reds get the lead. 1-0 heading to the 5th. Together. And by your local Ford dealer. Ford, go further. Findlay Market opening day parade. One in which Chris Welch has been in many times. And I've actually been in the same vehicle as you, but it didn't last very long. Redzilla even there. How big is it when Redzilla is there? I've even been in the same vehicle in the parade with Chris Welsh. It didn't last long because a man of the people, Chris Welsh, got out of that vehicle and walked the parade round.
Got to get some exercise.
Well, you were shaking hands, kissing babies.
It's a great day.
It
That
is a
Finley
great
Market
day.
Parade, great day. Unfortunately, this year did not happen on the Reds opening day, but still a very, very festive day for Cincinnati.
The 99th edition. So next year it will be on opening day. The 100th anniversary of the parade. Tyler Mahle going to work against Jason Hayward. And Mahle has been very, very good so far. Trying to protect a 1-0 lead.
Well, for a guy with 6 strikeouts through 5 innings, he's been very efficient as well. Fewer than 65 pitches.
Outside corner for a strike. Mahle making his first career appearance versus the Cubs. Again, paints the outside part of the plate.
I mean, get that number 7 detail brush out and get it right on the edge.
Evens the count at 2-2.
You know, Hayward stands so far away from the plate. What that tells me is that he wants the ball away. Now, he doesn't want it on the corner. He doesn't want it 4 inches out, but he doesn't want to get jammed. That's why he's way away from the plate.
There's a ball hammered into center field. Hamilton going back on the tracks. Got it. July or August, that's probably out of here. On a 44-degree day, warning track fly ball. And as you pitchers say, just a long out.
Hang with him.
Those crushing foul balls down the line. Just a long strike. Not a big deal. There's Baez. And as you said, he never saw a first pitch fastball he didn't like. Swing and a miss. Baez triple his first time up. And a ball nearly caught in right field by Jesse Winker. Mahle ahead 0-2. Barnhart trying to frame it, but no, says Kerwin Danley.
Boy, a teaser pitch that was so good it could have been a strike.
1-2 pitch. Chopper. Votto got it, takes it himself, 2 outs. And now a quick message from Miami Valley Gaming.
Get ready to get lucky.
Two outs, pitcher versus pitcher. Mahle v. Chatwood. Tyler versus Tyler for the first time ever in Major League history. Votto, does he have room? He does not. How's that heater working for you over there? That was a big league move by you, by the way, that you brought in your own heater.
You know, before I went to spring training, I took that little portable heater, put it down in my basement, thinking I'd never have to use it again. I'm taking it with me on the road this trip.
So it'll go along to Pittsburgh.
You better believe it.
That's a big league move, Chris Welsh.
Can be a very cold ballpark.
High above PNC Park, that press box. Second only to Washington, D.C., but you were up there amongst the wind. Check
Oh,
swing. Wow.
Ring him up, Kerwin.
In the air, right side. Votto drifts into foul territory, and back-to-back 3 up, 3 down innings for Tyler Mahle.
31st hits this home run, points to the crowd, and after he comes back, he gives a high five to Walter Superbubs Herbert, but he wasn't done. He gives him his bat and the shirt off of his back. At that time, Superbubs was suffering from stage 4 neuroblastoma. Unfortunately, he lost his battle with the dreaded disease on October 6th. That was a very touching moment for Joey Votto and all the fans that were present. So what did the Reds do? Well, the Reds invited the Herbert family in today for the Findlay Market Parade. We've seen the shots of the parade, but here's the Herbert family in memory of Superbubs. They were the honorary grand marshals. After all that they have been through over the last couple years with their son Superbubs, it's so nice to see them with a smile on their face. It was one of the moments that we all remember from last season. Guys?
Well, it was voted the top fan player interaction moment in all of Major League Baseball. It was our top moment of last year when we did our season ending show, and Joey Votto took it a step further. They had a memorial service for Superbubs after he unfortunately passed away, and Votto, in Votto fashion nowadays, as he's really come out of his shell as a person, flew from Toronto to Cincinnati to attend his memorial services. And they were going to set up a special, private service, or I guess private moment for Joey as Hayward makes the play on Mahle. But Joey said no, and he stood in line with everyone else and paid his respects to Superbubs. And again, coming from Toronto on his own to do that. It was a terrific moment, and the memory of Superbubs will live on. Here's Jesse Winker, 1 out. We are in the bottom of the 5th, 1-0 Reds. With Chris Welsh and Jeff Pecora, I'm Jim Day. Thanks for joining us. We're on the home of the Reds. The Fox Sports Ohio. Winkers walked and struck out swinging last time up. Time called. Chatwood's run the count to 3-0 to Winker. He's already walked 3, a pitch away from walking his 4th batter. And he does. As you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the Hold True moment later in today's game. Cliff Pennington at the dish. A walk and a ground out today. His first start in a Reds uniform. Ball gets by, and on to second base goes Winker.
Well, I'm not sure really what happened right there. Contreras is normally a very good backstop. Probably was a wild pitch, breaking ball down, and may have caught the plate. No, it just got below his glove. That should have been easily gloved. That's probably it. They're going to give him a wild pitch. I'd call that a pass ball.
I would have to agree with you right there, particularly what we've seen out of Contreras. Catchable ball. Reds will take it though. Runner in scoring position now with 1 out.
Well, Wilson Contreras has a gun behind the plate, and he likes to show it off a lot. And sometimes you'll see a catcher who does that. One hand the ball a little bit more, not in really great fundamental block the ball position, in order so that he can maybe grab the ball and fire off a quick throw to the base. Young man's got tremendous talent, and boy, he's still learning.
And hitting cleanup. And a pretty good lineup.
This is where I would expect, if I'm Cliff Pennington, I'm thinking I'm getting a strike right here. Now, if Chatwood can actually throw the ball where he wants to over the plate, you're going to get something that you can handle with Joey Votto on deck.
(2-0). 3-0. So 7 pitches delivered this inning from Chatwood, all out of the strike zone.
I mean, and Chatwood's not just missing by a little bit. I mean, he's really all over the place.
And another 4-pitch walk. Back-to-back variety. And this will warrant a trip to the mound by the pitching coach, Jim Hickey.
Yeah, he's new this year. He came up from Tampa Bay. He was down in Tampa when Joe Madden was manager down there. And those that followed Madden around figured it was only a matter of time until Jim Hickey, who is a very good pitching coach, made his way to work for Joe Madden again.
He worked under Madden 2006 to 2014. And a few changes amongst that coaching staff. A lot of changes actually for the Cubs this season. Hitting coach is now Chili Davis. All right, big situation here for Joey Votto. 2 on, 1 out. Ball 1. In the air, left field. Schwarber's got it, 2 outs. Big out for Chatwood.
Well, he struck out Joey Votto in the first inning after he walked the first 2 batters to get the bottom of the first inning going. And he walks the first 2 batters here in the 5th, and then Votto a harmless fly ball to left.
The Reds are going to do damage here in the 5th. It's up to Scooter Gennett. Broken bat grounder. Rizzo. Flip to Chatwood. The Reds strand 2 more. But they lead 1-0 as we head to the 6th. Mahle has surrendered only 1 hit in 5 innings of work. Does have 2 walks on the board, but a career high 6 strikeouts. 75 pitches through 5 innings. And he'll get the top of the order for the Cubs here in the 6th. First pitch ball to Ian Happ. I talked earlier about Cubs searching for a leadoff man, and they've split it right down the middle in their first 4 games. Ian Happ, the guy at the plate, started on opening day in the leadoff spot. Then Almora Jr. Happ in game 3. Almora Jr. in game 4. So we'll see how Joe Madden will line them up over the entire season.
Well, Happ is a guy that'll take a walk. His on-base percentage last year, .328. He batted just around .250. So he walked 39 times.
1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called.
Boy, is he on the edge today. I'd like to run this off about 20,000 times if you're Tyler Mahle. Starts in off the plate, a little comeback fastball. That's a 4-seam variety. Tyler Mahle does not throw a 2-seamer. Most pitchers that throw that particular pitch use 2 seams because the ball moves enough. But I mean, Mahle puts enough spin on the ball that it had great comeback action.
Now he'll tangle with Chris Bryant for the 3rd time today, and a swing and a miss. Bryant 0 for 2, flied out to right, lined out to right.
You know, if you've got enough on your fastball, where he threw that last pitch is the perfect place to pitch Bryant. You don't want to get it down too low, though. When you do go low, that's a good spot. Here's the pitch I'm talking about. The first pitch fastball to Bryant. He likes it up. You see it well when it's up there like that, but it's awfully tough to get to, especially when Mahle throws it right.
1-1. Foul back. Here comes the 1-2. There was virtually no wind when this game started. Now a little bit of wind picking up, and unusually blowing, I guess, in a little bit or towards right field. It's usually blowing to left center field. Bryant looked at one just off the strike zone.
Back-to-back changeups, a 2-2 count. Mahle probably now going back with the old number 1.
Ground ball. Suarez gloves it. Got it. Bryant busting it down the line. Close play, but 2 outs. As part of the Ohio Lottery postgame concert series, chart-topping country singer Jake Owen will be performing a live concert from the field on Saturday, August 11th. Everyone with a ticket to a Reds game will have the chance to enjoy that show from one of country music's hottest acts. Purchase your tickets now at reds.com. Two outs. Here's Rizzo. In the air. Hit well. Left center field. Duvall back on the track. Has got it. Just a long out. And another 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Mahle.
11 years ago, April 2nd, 2007, the mayor, Mark Mallory, first pitch to Eric Davis. Wow. Wow. One of the great ceremonial first pitches in the history of baseball. Made national news, guys, and not for the great result, that's for sure. Wow.
Oh,
didn't Mayor Mallory go on Letterman shortly after that and talk about that?
Was like Pick said, that became a national story.
He had a great sense of humor about that.
You know what? What else can you do after that? I mean, I have to have a great sense of humor because you guys badger me constantly. So what else can you do?
Well, you deserve it. Mark Mallory didn't deserve it. He only had one bad pitch.
See, it's never ending. I mean, I try to defend myself, and I still put it on the tee. All right. You know,
we love you, Jim. You know that.
The only pitch to rival that was 50 Cent, or should I say 50 Cent. That was not a good one. I think that was in New York. That was pretty bad. One-two count to Eugenio Suarez and a pitcher's duel here at Great American. Tyler versus Tyler, Mahle versus Chatwood, and Chatwood here in his 6th inning of work, and he has been fortunate. The Reds have stranded 6 runners. He got out of 3 jams. It could be worse than the 1-0 score. He's run the count full to Eugenio Suarez, who last time up tripled and scored on Duvall's RBI ground out. The only scoring of the game. Stays alive and fouls it back out of play. Whose heater is on this side? Is this yours, Jesse? See, big league moves here. I brought nothing. Another walk from Tyler Chatwood. If a Reds home run hits the Toyota sign during today's game, Bonnie Zepp Stour from Noblesville, Indiana, will win the beautiful new Tundra on display at Great American Ballpark thanks to your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Last name spelled S-T-O-W-E-R. So, oh, I'm sorry, it's an N. That's bad writing, Josh Hall. Thought I had bad writing. Bonnie Zepp Stoner from Noblesville, Indiana. You're going to get that Toyota. I thought I had bad handwriting. Adam Duvall, the only RBI of this game.
And it's really amazing because the Reds have had plenty of opportunities here. 6 walks on the day that Chatwood has given up. There's only been 1 inning where he went through the Reds 1, 2, 3.
In the air, right side. Rizzo. 1 out.
You know, but you've probably heard the expression effectively wild, and I think that's probably where Tyler Chatwood is today. You know, he's just kind of crazy enough outside and inside the strike zone that you never really feel very comfortable. You're not really sure how he's trying to pitch you because he's not getting the ball where he wants to. But by being all over the place, his unpredictability is actually being effective.
His pitch count at 81 as you look at the complete line. As he'll deal with Tucker Barnhart. Struck out looking his last time up, singled his first time up. Two and up. Action in the Reds pen. It's righty Jared Hughes cranking it up. Two-0 pitch to Barnhart. Line drive, center field. Coming in is Happy, can't get it. On his way to third base is Suarez. Here comes Barnhart to second. Throw not in time.
What a base running play by Barnhart. What a heads up play that was for him to get to second base. Happ did not see that ball coming off the bat. He just simply did not react at all. And by the time he figured out where the ball was, it was too late. Tried to make a diving catch to it. Barnhart busting it right out of the batter's box like he normally does. And when the ball squirts away from him, he's going to figure out, I'm going to go to second base.
Never stopped.
That's the way you play the game right there.
Well, here comes Joe Madden. He will jog to the mound, and the entire infield will converge.
Well, they've got some decisions to make right here because the Reds are down at the bottom of the order. You got Billy Hamilton coming up, and then you have Phil Gosselin, who's worked his way into the on-deck circle. So you hate to take Mahle out, but you need some runs right here. So Gosselin will be the guy that will most likely pinch hit, unless it's a decoy by Brian Price.
There's no one warming up in the Cubs pen.
And I'm stunned at that. They're going to bring the infield in and try to cut it off here at the plate.
Second and third, one out. Billy Hamilton at the plate, infield playing in. So Joe Madden will try to nurse his bullpen, who was big time overworked in that Marlins series. They played 2 extra inning games. One was 17 innings. The other 10 innings, as they split that 4-game set 2-2.
Now, the one thing you've got to be worried about if you're Eugenio Suarez is a quick throw to third base by Contreras. They may have a prearranged plan right here, a little play between he and the third baseman Bryant. You sneak a little bit too far off base down there, and they fire it down. He loves to throw to the bases.
One pitch to Hamilton. Chopped foul at the plate. Four-game series against the Marlins, and look at the work. 19 2/3 innings from the starters, 24 innings logged by the bullpen.
Now they had that 15-inning game. 17-inning game, that is. Of course, 7 innings was pitched by just one guy out of that
Eddie
bullpen.
Butler went 7 innings, gave up 1 run. Here's a chopper in front of the plate. To the plate comes the pitcher Chatwood, and they get Suarez. Heads up defensive play by the pitcher. 2 outs.
Well, kind of a swinging safety squeeze right here, but Chatwood gets off the mound very quickly. And as soon as the ball went down towards the first base line, that's when Suarez began to come home. And just a nice play by the Cubs.
So now first and third, 2 outs. And here's the pinch hitter Phil Gosselin, who will hit for Tyler Mahle. Keep our eye on Billy Hamilton at first base. Swing and a miss by Gosselin.
I'm not even sure that they throw to second base. The second baseman and the shortstop are so far from the bag right here. I'm wondering if they're just going to go ahead and give Billy an opportunity to steal and not leave their position and open up a spot maybe for a ground ball to come through and drive in a runner from third base.
Swing and a miss. Gosselin in an 0-2 hole. Wilson Contreras has thrown out Billy Hamilton 6 times in 18 steal attempts. No other catcher has thrown out Billy more often than Contreras. But like you said, shortstop and second baseman are playing way away from the bag.
I'll tell you one thing about Tyler Chatwood. It seems like when you get his back right up against the wall, that's when he begins to deliver his best pitches. He needed it in the first inning when he walked the first 2 batters in the bottom of the first and then struck out Joey Votto on 3 pitches. And he's in a similar spot right here.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners on first and third. Reds trying to add to a 1-0 lead. Swing and a miss, and again Chatwood dances around trouble. The Reds have stranded 8, but lead 1-0.
Retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
T-Mobile and score-free MLB.tv all season long. Set up now through Monday at T-Mobile.com/MLB. Good ball game here, Great American Ballpark. 1-0 Reds leading. Chris Welsh, we have a new pitcher in the game for the Reds.
And a guy that likes to keep the ball down on the ground. He was just recently signed over the winter by the Reds. One of 2 free agent signings. The Reds added some bullpenners. One was David Hernandez. The other, Jared Hughes, takes the mound now for the 3rd time this season.
Facing Wilson Contreras. And a first pitch strike. And Jared Hughes, what a character they've added to the bullpen and the clubhouse. A good dude. as friendly as they come. A good pitcher to boot. It sets up well for this ballpark. Thinker ball pitcher, produces a lot of ground balls, hasn't given up a lot of home runs over his career. Hard to pitch in this small ballpark, but his game fits it if any does. Ground ball, and the Reds haven't played perfectly. It's Jeanette recovers, out number 1. And Jared Hughes, when they call him into the game, it's like a thoroughbred coming out of the bullpen. Look at the sprint. Now back in college, he said, Troy Tulowitzki said that he ran like an ostrich. And Jared Hughes says, I agree with it. I look so ridiculous running. I look like an ostrich. Now check him out. Does that look like an ostrich to you? He says he gets that head bobbing down. He's got that long stride.
That's some intensity right there.
It is.
You know, you see that, and I can't help but remember, Todd Coffey.
Yeah.
Coming in from the bullpen. One was out there in left center field. I mean, roaring in from out there.
He told me a story behind it as well. He did not get off to a good start in his pro career, and was literally down to what he thought was going to be his last outing. He was struggling so mightily that he thought that he was just going to get cut. And his catcher, and I can't remember who it was at the time, just told him, you know what? Just come out of the bullpen and sprint out of there like you're just ready to tear down the wall, and come out of here and throw as hard as you can. Try to throw it through the backstop if you have to. And he went out and pitched that good that day and turned his career around, and he's sprinted ever since.
Great story.
Ever since. He said he was down to his last. He thought it was going to be his last start or his last appearance in pro ball. I can't remember the catcher's name.
Well, I was told not to run into coming out of the bullpen because I didn't want anybody to think that I was in a hurry to give up a home run.
1-2 pitch from the ostrich.
You know, with the return of the bullpen cart, they've got it, what, in Arizona, I think, the only team right now. But maybe it'll catch on again.
I hope it does.
Yeah, I do too. I wonder if
I asked Jared Hughes about it.
Would he take the cart, or would he take his running skills?
I asked him about it. He said absolutely not. He will not take it. He could outrun the bullpen cart anyways, unless you got a go-kart bringing the pitcher in.
I don't know if you can outrun Redzilla, though.
Well, who could outrun Redzilla? Except when I rode on it, I weighed it down a little bit. Payoff pitch, walked him. Second straight time that Schwarber has walked for him in this game.
Third walk of the ball game that the Cubs have been able to get today. That against 7 strikeouts Tyler Mahle laid on him.
So 6 innings for Mahle, just 1 hit, and that ball could have been caught. No runs, and as you said, the 7 punch-outs, a new career high for him. Here's Addison Russell, a swing and a miss.
Boy, that is some serious downward movement on the sinker by Hughes. You know, the whole key for a sinker ball pitcher like Hughes is to throw it high enough so that when it comes out of your hand, it looks like it's going to be a strike. But if you start at the very lower end of the strike zone, by the time it gets to home plate, it's down around your ankles.
Well, the ground ball pitcher could use a ground ball right now.
Here's the pitch I'm talking about.
Mercy.
I mean, that baby's going down like an off-speed pitch. And that was 92 miles an hour.
Throw down. Nearly picked off Schwarber.
Well, it was such a great pick by Barnhart. Now, Schwarber, you know, when you see the ball in the dirt, you're thinking, all right, it might get away from the catcher here. I'm going to be ready to go to second. So you get 1 extra half step towards the next bag, and a good quick throw right there.
Schwarber takes his lead again. Russell staring down a 1-1 pitch. Nope, throw over.
You know, on that play, that's an interesting play, because if Joey Votto is playing another half step deep at first base, he makes Schwarber go around him. He still gives him access to the bag, but he'll make Schwarber go around him, and the pickoff would have been clean. Now he's moved back a little bit.
And the disadvantage of being a right-handed throwing first baseman.
Here's what I'm talking about. You see where he is right now. I mean, you're still giving him the back end, but if he had moved to, you know, to where his foot was in the center of the bag rather than in front of the bag, that tag would have been, you know, right on him at the time he got the ball.
2-1 pitch. There goes Schwarber. Swing and a miss. Throw down. Easily getting Schwarber at second base. Gold glove stuff. Tucker Barnhart.
I think that was all about Joe Madden taking a chance that Jared Hughes was going to throw the ball in the dirt. Because Schwarber is not a guy that you would expect to be just a straight steal unless he had something cooking.
That, and Russell was swinging on the pitch. Counts 2-2, 2 outs now. Hurt someone down there. Yeah. Ouch. I'll do the 2-2 again. Here it comes. Payoff pitch. Grounded right back to Hughes. Underhand flip to Votto. Nicely done, Jared Hughes. Reds holding on to a 1-0 lead. Followed by the game with the first pitch at 6:40. Then on Wednesday, an all-new Cavs headquarters, Cavs HQ, excuse me, at 2 p.m. The Cavs have just 5 games left before the playoffs begin. So Reds live tomorrow at 6 o'clock. It's the first night game, a 6:40 first pitch here at Great American Ballpark. And a new pitcher on the hill for the Cubs. It's lefty Justin Wilson. So close the book on Tyler Chatwood as Winker fouls the first pitch back. 6 innings for Chatwood, 4 hits. Gave up the 1 run and danced around 6 walks with 4 strikeouts through 92 pitches. This one will drift out of play.
Well, this is certainly the left-hand part of the lineup that Joe Madden decided to bring his left-hander Justin Wilson in against. You do have Pennington, and then Votto and Jeanette, all lefties that are going to be up there. So you got to figure that Wilson's in here for the entire inning.
When you bat Votto and Jeanette 3 and 4 in the lineup, which we've seen 2 out of the 3 games, you're going to face these lefties out of the pen late in the game. Winker just punches at one and stays alive.
Well, you've got managers that will agree and disagree about that point, and they've done it for a long, long time. Some, and I remember Dusty Baker would always say he'd always want to have lefty righty, and it makes a lot of sense to have that. And there would be other managers like Bobby Cox who would say, I don't really care what they do at the end of the ball game. I want my, best hitters up there at certain spots, and I'm going to put them back to back if I have to.
Lazy fly ball left center field.
I still get the feeling that Brian Price is figuring out his lineup and trying to figure what flow is going to be best. depending on the matchups that he has, and of course depending on the rotation that he uses in that 4-man outfield rotation for 3 spots. Schebler's not available, or at least wasn't available to start today because of that ball that he took off of his elbow,
which they don't deem to be serious. Schebler says he woke up this morning and he still had tingling in his fingers. He left the ballpark yesterday. He left the ballpark yesterday and told Brian Price, I'm going to be good to go tomorrow. So Price initially put him in the starting lineup. Pennington just fouled down the left field line. But he didn't respond to treatment, did Schebler, and they scratched him. But he said he started getting treatment today, felt a whole lot better, and he's a tough kid. But that one yesterday brought him to his knees. 0-2 pitch to Pennington, misses outside. Pennington has drawn 2 of the 6 walks issued by Cubs pitching today. Facing a 1-2 count here. 2-2. Count holds at 2-2. Pennington's the guy you'll see play all over the infield. Last season for the Angels, 47 games at second, 18 at third, 18 at shortstop. Making the start at shortstop today for the Reds.
Well, he's had a long major league career, 11 years in the big leagues overall. Started with the Oakland A's. Only 2 years really he has been an everyday player. That was back when he was 26 and 27 years old. He's now 33.
Swing and a miss. Chased one upstairs, 2 outs. Check out the new theme ticket packages the Reds are offering this season. Packages feature an exclusive item including a Star Wars Chewbacca bobblehead, Fiona the Hippo, and Elvis bobbleheads, and more. Guarantee these limited edition collectibles by purchasing a theme ticket package. Visit reds.com/themes. 2 outs. Joey Votto looks at one on the outside corner. Votto 0 for 3 so far today. Swing and a miss. Check swing appeal. No, says Carlos Torres.
You know, you just get the feeling that Votto's just not quite there yet. You know, you never worry about a veteran like Votto in spring training. He didn't have a great spring from a hit standpoint, but just not quite on his timing yet. But those of us who have seen him play over the years and put on a display like he did in the second half of last year, which was just absolutely off the charts incredible. Way too early to be worried.
Had a .256 batting average in April and March last year. Season started at the end of March again last year. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout today for Joey Votto. 1-2-3-7. 1-0 Reds. 6 innings, gave up only one hit. That ball could have been caught. No runs. He did walk 2 batters, but a career-high 7 strikeouts as he was mowing them down. And the only scoring in this game, the inning was started by Eugenio Suarez. His first triple of 2018. Next batter was Adam Duvall, who did his job by putting it in play. RBI ground out. And that's the only denting of the plate today. It is 1-0 Reds as we head to the top of the 8th inning. New pitcher on for the Reds, lefty Wandy Peralta.
This is where you really want to be able to get it done. The back end of the bullpen, you know, you've got Iglesias down there ready to go. Peralta has the bottom 3 in the Cubs order. Hayward, Baez, and a pinch hitter.
First pitch misses up high. So 6 innings from Mahle. A clean inning by Jared Hughes. And now Peralta trying to hold on to that 1-0 advantage. Phillip Ervin's into the game. He's in right field. Look out. One ball, 2 strikes. This Cubs team coming off of a 92-70 2017 season. National League Central Division champs, a plus 127 run differential last year. They won the division series over the Washington Nationals 3-2 and then fell to the Dodgers in the NLCS. But over the last 3 seasons, this team has averaged 97.3 wins over the last 3, including the 2016 World Series championship. One-two pitch.
Well, you certainly don't want to walk Jason Hayward right here. Last year against left-handed pitchers, he struggled mightily. Now, he's always had a pretty good difference in splits, lefties versus lefty and him versus righties. But last year, Jason Hayward batted very low against left-handers. Or make it in his career, he was a little better last year, and so far not getting off to a good start.
The count is full, and Hayward calls timeout. Swing and a miss.
What a key pitch for Peralta right there. Decided to go with the slider. And just a good pitch. I'm not so sure that Hayward would be able to handle that pitch. Not where he threw it. Look at that. Down, cutting away from him. On a 3-2 count, that's the way to go after the first hitter.
Wandy a little fired up after that pitch. Now he'll tangle with righty Javier Baez.
Dangerous guy.
And Baez looks at a first pitch strike.
Wandy Peralta dialing it up to 97.
Swing and a miss. Fastball, pull the string. Oh-2 pitch went chasing and down goes Baez. Back-to-back punch outs. Wandy Peralta.
It's a pretty good 3-pitch combination right there. A fastball at 97, a slider down and in, and then pulling the string on the changeup, feathering it right off the outside corner.
And here's pinch hitter Ben Zobrist, and out to the mound will be pitching coach Mac Jenkins.
This is one of the things that Major League Baseball has tried to avoid, which is come on out with a scouting report on a guy, you know, and then thus by delaying the game. Now, what they've done is they've limited the number of trips to the mound that don't include taking the pitcher out. So the Reds haven't had any yet today, unless Tucker Barnhart went out to visit Mahle that I didn't see.
No, that's their first trip to the mound. In fact, they've got mound visits up on the board now here in the stadium. It is something that they track. Reds have 5 left. It's out in left center field on the ribbon out there. Mound visits.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Cubs with 4 left, Reds with 5, and you'll now see the home plate umpire will gesture to the official score and to each bench how many mound trips they have left. Check swing by Ben Zobrist, and he went. The Reds should have a pretty good scouting report on Ben Zobrist.
You're going to go with your strength.
But that scouting report hasn't worked in this park. Look at those numbers. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. 2 balls and a strike. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Three and 1. Walked him. Stick around after the game. We'll put a capper on this one as always. It's Reds Live, the post-game edition, brought to you by Performance Kings Honda. Expanded highlights, locker room reaction, and more. And indeed, I will be still heading to the Fox Sports Ohio condominium after this one. We're working double duty.
All day, Jim Day, every day.
Some days. Top of the order, Ian Happ, tying run on first base, 2 outs, ripped into left field. This could be trouble. Duvall gets it quickly and actually makes a nice play holding Zobrist at second base.
Well, Zobrist's not the speediest of runners, but he's a smart player. And you're not going to make your third out of third, not when you're the tying run.
Ball did a nice job of getting over and getting this ball.
So now you wonder if Peralta will face Chris Bryant, and that will not be the case. Brian Price makes his way out of the dugout, and he's already motioned to the bullpen for Raisel Iglesias.
And motion to the right bullpen this time. The Reds bullpen now in right field. And he will make that call to the bullpen. That's our Skyline Chili call to the pen. Club making a 4-day weekend from May 31st to June 3rd. Order your badges at memorialbadges.com. Quite the situation here. Runners on first and second, 2 outs, 1-0 Reds. Chris Bryant at the plate, Raisel Iglesias on the hill.
One of those situations where both managers feel like they've got the guy they want in the action.
This is best against best right here. Iglesias v. Bryant. Bryant 2 for 12 in his career off of Iglesias. A home run, a walk, 5 strikeouts. One-0 pitch. 2-0. Iglesias worked the 9th yesterday and gave up a towering home run to Bryce Harper, which actually turned out to be the difference in the game in a 6-5 Washington victory. Hitters count at 2-0. Three and 0. .30 pitch, and he walked him on 4 pitches. Bases loaded, and here comes Anthony Rizzo. There you see his career numbers versus Iglesias. I said best versus best, Bryant versus Iglesias. Make this best versus best part 2. Almost hit Rizzo. 5 pitches from Iglesias, all out of the strike zone.
And all pulled to the first base side of the strike zone. This is where you got to figure out a way to regroup yourself right here.
Tying run 90 feet away, 2 outs, 1-0 pitch. Strike call. One pitch, swing and a miss.
Back-to-back power fastballs by Raisel Iglesias, in and up in the zone.
Crowd of nearly 19,000 to their feet. Huge pitch in this game upcoming. Foul back. We'll do the 1-2 again. Up and away. 2-2.
Will Iglesias pull the string here?
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Iglesias gets out of the jam, and the Reds hold on to a 1-0 lead. Barnhart fired up.
With our Reds Live pregame show presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing. We'll get you set for tomorrow night's 6:40 start. Cody Reed goes up against John Lester in that game. Lester 13-8 last year. Cody 1-1. Only 1 start last season, but had a really good spring. And guys, got some good news on Brandon Finnegan. He's been feeling much better. He will travel with the team on this road trip to Pittsburgh and Philly. He will throw next Monday in Philly a bullpen session, and then he will return to Louisville on Wednesday and pitch in a simulated game there. So things look promising for Brandon Finnegan, gentlemen.
Well, they had him earmarked for that 5th spot in the rotation. Cody Reed will take that spot tomorrow, as you said. Scooter Gennett facing a new pitcher here for the Cubs. It's righty Pedro Strop.
Strop has spent his last 4 years with the Chicago Cubs, and he's been one durable guy. 69 games last year, 54 the year before that, and 76 in 2015. I mean, he just keeps rolling right along.
Ben Zobrist stayed in the game. He's in right field. Jason Hayward moves over to center field. And wouldn't you know it, per usual, when you come into the game, the ball's hit right at you. Zobrist gloves it for out number 1. And that'll bring up a Eugenio Suarez. Reds would desperately like to add on here. Suarez 1 for 2. Triple walk, scored a run. The only run scored in this game. And it came back in the 4th. Ground ball under the glove of Bryant into left field. The Reds will take that.
Well, we're seeing more and more of that, aren't you? I mean, it was sharply hit. There's no doubt, but given the chance to get in front of the ball versus the chance of fielding it on your side, we're seeing more and more of the Olay action.
If you get in front of it, at worst, you knock it down.
And they're going to hang him with an error.
And they should. Here's Duvall, the only RBI of this game. 5 of them to lead the Reds early on. And that 4-man outfield rotation we talked about, Duvall has already not started a game. He was not slated to start today. And we're talking about a guy that hit 31 home runs last year and 99 RBIs. Counts 1-2 to the Reds left fielder. Strike 3 called, and he knew it. Seven strikeouts by Cubs pitching today, and here's Tucker Barnhart. Strop wearing that hat like Chris Welsh used to wear.
I think his is getting more and more
I was going to say,
left every year.
That is the most I've ever seen. I mean, he's turned it to the left a lot, but that is the most I have ever seen. I mean, it's nearly sideways. And that rubs the baseball purists the wrong way. Make no mistake about it. April 14th, first 20,000 get that Tucker Barnhart Gold Glove bobblehead. Thanks to Coca-Cola. Reds and Cardinals, April 12th through the 15th. You can see it for as low as $12. For tickets, visit Reds.com. 1-1 pitch, right center field. Flagged down by Zobrist on his way to third base is Suarez. First and third, 2 outs.
Boy, Tucker's had a good game today. I mean, behind the plate, he has been outstanding. He and Tyler Mahle teamed up to have an outstanding outing. Third hit on the night. A hustling double his last time up, and here the Reds now have first and third.
Billy Hamilton at the plate. Floater. Caught. Red strand 2. Contreras, Schwarber, and Russell will face Iglesias with the game on the line. Big moment in the 8th. Bases loaded, tying run 90 feet away, and Iglesias sits down Anthony Rizzo. Brian Price will call on Iglesias for yet another more than 1 inning save. 8 of them last year. 12 saves of more than 1 inning tied Kenley Jansen. And the 93.3 save percentage, second highest in team history to some guy named Aroldis Chapman. He will get 4, 5, and 6 in the Cubs lineup, starting with Wilson Contreras. And he falls behind 2-0. Contreras has faced Iglesias 3 times. 0 for 3 and a couple of strikeouts. 2-0 pitch. Drive. Left field, but he got under it. It sounded a lot better than it ended up, and Duvall gloves it for out number 1. And now Schwarber.
Well, the Reds will go into that modified shift as they normally do against Kyle Schwarber. They'll leave the third baseman Suarez in halfway between shortstop and third base. Everybody else on the right side of the infield.
Swing and a miss.
But if you're Brian Price, you're not really worried about the ground ball that goes through the left side. Not with this guy at the plate.
Schwarber 3 for 5 in his career off of Iglesias. A double, 2 strikeouts. And when Iglesias has run into problems, it has been against left-handed batters, which is not outside of the norm, obviously. Righty versus lefty matchup. 2-1 pitch. Inside corner. Not sure Schwarber liked that call, but Iglesias will take it. 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. Swing and a miss.
What you have on display here this afternoon are all the weapons that Raisel Iglesias has to get out left-handers. A mid to high 90s fastball that he blew right by Anthony Rizzo to end last inning, and very effective changeups in that at bat to push Schwarber away.
2 outs. Addison Russell at the plate. It has been a good one, as they say. He's trying to hold on to the 1-0 lead. Swing and a miss. 1-1 pitch. Strike call.
Well, you can just see the body language with Raisel Iglesias. A little bit more demonstrative on the mound. A little bit more twisting and turning. I mean, he's feeling it right now.
Reds fans to their feet. Ground ball. Suarez. Cross to Votto. And the Reds are into the win column for the first time in 2018. 1-0 win over the Cubs to take game one of this two-game set at Great American Ballpark. Great pitching by the Reds. Mahle, Hughes, Peralta, Iglesias. They shut out the Cubbies here on opening day, part 2. It's good to see the high fives and the celebration back. It was a tough 3 games against the Washington Nationals, but a long season ahead as the Reds smell victory yet again. We'll be back with more in a moment.